Irish are a glunny funny race, sir. Every girl's in the coming the man. Every doggy has a tri-coloured ribbon tied firmly to his tail. And I wouldn't be surprising if there'd be another rising, said the man from the Daily Mail. Every bird upon my word is singing treble. I'm a rebel. Every hen and jade is laying hand grenades over there, sir. I declare, sir. And every cock in the farmyard stock throws a triumph for the Gael. And I wouldn't be surprising if there'd be another rising, said the man from the Daily Mail. Well, the other day I ventured down to Clare, sir, and I spied in old Boreen such a squad of right and busy ganders there, sir, dressed in orange, white and green. They marched to the German goose step, and they whistled Granuel. And I'm shaking in my shoes as I'm sending out the news, said the man from the Daily Mail. Every bird upon my word is singing treble. I'm a rebel. Every hen and jade is laying hand grenades over there, sir. I declare, sir. And every cock in the farmyard stock throws a triumph for the Gael. And it wouldn't be surprising if there'd be another rising, said the man from the Daily Mail. Well, the whole place is seething with sedition. It's Sinn Féin through and through. All the paras are joining local units, and the password Sinn Féin too. Every doggy has a tri-coloured ribbon tied firmly to his tail. And it wouldn't be surprising if there'd be another rising, said the man from the Daily Mail. Every bird upon my word is singing treble. I'm a rebel. Every hen and jade is laying hand grenades over there, sir. I declare, sir. And every cock in the farmyard stock throws a triumph for the Gael. And it wouldn't be surprising if there'd be another rising, said the man from the Daily Mail. Every bird upon my word is singing treble. I'm a rebel. Every hen and jade is laying hand grenades over there, sir. I declare, sir. And every cock in the farmyard stock throws a triumph for the Gael. And it wouldn't be surprising if there'd be another rising, said the man from the Daily Mail.
What's another one because of that?
Nah. Hello there, I'm Andy Einson with Play Ojo Street Casino, and today we're on the streets of London playing Name It.
Can you find all this dark?
Hold on home, British soldiers, hold on home. Have you got no fucking home? Have you got no fucking homes out the road? For 800 years we fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. And if you stay, British soldiers, if you stay, you'll never ever be the IRA. I was 14 men in Derry, unless the Jew bury. So take it up and leave us right away. Oh, but some British soldiers will fall. Remember the soldiers falls. Throughout our history, we're born duty-free. So let out you British bastards, leave us be. Now go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes of your own? For 800 years we fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. And if you stay, British soldiers, if you stay, you'll never ever beat the IRA. Well, it was 14 men in Derry, unless that you will bury. So take a tip fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. We're not Saxon, we're not British, we're not English, we're Irish and proudly are to be. So fuck your Union Jack, we want our country back. It's Ireland and Ireland it will be. And go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes on the road? For 800 years we fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. And if you stay, British soldiers, if you stay, you'll never ever beat the IRA. There's 14 men in Derry, the less that you will bury. So take a tip and leave us when you may. And go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes of your own? For 800 years we fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. And if you stay, British soldiers, if you stay, you'll never ever beat the IRA. Those 14 men in Derry are the last that you will bury. So take a tip and leave us when you may.
Upgrade your desk with this free LED Nifty 2 clock, combining vintage charm with modern technology. This sleek clock offers customizable LED display for a unique and stylish addition to your room. Download Tamu to get it for free now. Only for new app users with qualifying orders.
I was born in the Dublin street where the loyal drums did beat. The loving English feet they walked all over us. We sing night and beat down. The neighbours who with this let us hear you tell how you slandered Great Parnell when you taught them well and truly persecuted. What are the sneers and jeers that you loudly let us hear when our leaders of 16 were executed? The man should black and tans come out and fight me like a man. Show you white, though you one man's brown and Flanders. How the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Killarney. Come tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had spears and bow and arrows. Bravely you faced one with your 16 on the gun, and you frightened them natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show you white, though you won medals down in Flanders. How the IRA made you run like hell away on the green and lovely lakes of Killarney. The time is coming fast and I think the day is near when each O'Neill he will run before us, and if there be any need, well,
Who didn't give her number 6? Actually, it should be corrupt. It's like bad. Someone got a problem. No. Oh, you know.
Everyone here knows what's happening. Fucking disgraceful. Yeah, mate.
Do you want to wait and see if any more turn up, or do you want to do the record yourself? Do you want to wait to see if any more turn up?
For the people, if they start, I start recording, you know? No problem, no problem.
So,
You can start right now, you know?
like what here, is it? Okay. Microphone.
Yeah, but you speak to microphone or not? Or
Yeah.
Pick the microphone. Do you want to hold the microphone?
No, I can't.
Or do you just want, yeah, you just want to hold that.
Can I just hold this?
Yeah, she doesn't want the microphone.
Can you hold that? All right, so it's all right. It's all right.
okay, I'm ready.
Ready?
Yeah, you can start.
Hello. For people that don't know me, my name is Jo Mullen, and I am running as the only female candidate for Ballina and the surrounding areas. My background is I came to Ballina in my youth and remember how beautiful and welcoming it was, with its vibrant shops and welcoming locals. My father, Martin Mullen, was born and raised in Ballina, and he expressed his love for his little town. He and his family grew up on a farm in Carricushlon with 35 acres, which, by the way, has sadly been sold since to a well-known vulture developer. These were tough times even back then in my father's times, to put food on the table and keep a roof over your family's heads. But the whole community helped one another as best they could. The town of Ballina was once vibrant and alive. Sadly, this is not the case now, as in the last number of years has seen a downward spiral of business premises closing their doors due to pressure of high rents, high rates. What was once a vibrant, happy, welcoming town is now filled with empty shop fronts. It is becoming like a ghost town, with deceased shops and ugly vacant buildings. There is a major housing crisis within Ballina, with lack of homes available to rent or purchase. and many local people also suffering due to the devastating impacts resulting from pyrite, which in turn has dramatically increased the need for housing even more, as these people find themselves virtually homeless until they can rebuild their crumbling properties. The people previously appointed in council positions have done nothing substantial to address the ongoing housing crisis, even though there are substantial funds available to build and regenerate properties and commercial buildings that could provide adequate housing for all needs, including 1 to 2 bedroom apartments that we don't have, that could house the single, marital breakdown occupants and older generations. These people you have entrusted have turned their backs on their own people and instead have encouraged the influx of migrants to be housed first. This is by no means discrimination. This is anger. This is anger against the ignorance to the plight and dire situations that Irish people are suffering at the hands of these people in so-called power. The hidden homeless being ignored and disrespected, adults that have to move back in with their parents, people couch surfing, children have been moved from one place to another with no hope of ever seeing security in their forever homes. Our town is saturated with problems. Sorry now. I'm not used to speaking, by the way, so bear with me. Our previously elected councillors failed to recognise or neglect to address a demand that we require. I demand a ceasefire and closing the gates on this ambush that they are allowing the influx of migrants and put an end to making them a priority for housing and other benefits while their own people are suffering at the hands of these corrupt, greedy, self-indulged parties. They do not consider the impact it is having, and frankly, it seems they don't give a damn. We, the people, are fighting our own war in this town to provide a roof over the heads of our children and make Ballina a happy, safe place to live. My proposals to increase the capacity for housing is bringing fresh new ideas to the council to regenerate empty commercial properties within the town and turn them into 1 to 2 bedroom apartments, and also to put in place low-cost housing options to buy derelict and vacant properties and make them available only to genuine people seeking a home, not open to vulture landlords and those seeking to house immigrants for financial gain, while also improving and maximising the construction of purpose-built houses to accommodate families and local people only. Okay, and in the hope of housing as many people as possible in the coming years, I also will be looking to recreate and build a community complex that will be beneficial to the whole town, which will create employment and also promote the welfare and well-being of our younger generation, working together with the county council and the community to create a community-based development that will provide recreational activities and a place to hang out, which in turn will promote positive mental health and a sense of belonging within our younger generation. Sorry, now I have another little bit going, and this is close to my heart because I want to be a voice for the animal welfare also. I have seen firsthand the devastating scenes in animal shelters, helping out as a volunteer and also as appointed person to carry out home checks on suitable applicants applying to adopt animals. Rescue centres are bursting at the seams due to pets being abandoned and surrendered due to landlord restrictions. This thus putting added pressure on anyone trying to secure a rental property. They are being forced to choose between keeping their beloved pet or risk homelessness. This I have experienced myself in the past as a pet owner. I intend to highlight this ongoing problem and take action to change the criteria to prevent this continuing. I also will be pushing to appoint an animal cruelty officer to cover the Mayo jurisdiction to clamp down on puppy farming and extreme cases of neglect and unnecessary harm inflicted on animals. They also need a voice. So please, only vote for independent candidates if you want to get the change that you need. I'm shaking. Not used to talking, dog. All right, sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Have you anything to say?
You go.
Have you anything to say about 3 men doing 5 years in jail for killing a dog that they didn't kill, that the Gardaí killed?
Yeah.
Above in Stroketown. The Gardaí killed the dog. The vet said he could save the dog. The Gardaí killed. The dog was a weapon being used against the Irish people and evicting Irish people out of their homes. Right? He was being used as a weapon. He was an ex-RUC dog, or PSNI if you want to call them that, dog, right? And he was trained for riot situations, but he became too savage, and he was given to Ian Gordon, a loyalist terrorist, right, and sent down here to evict Irish people out of their homes, and he was set on the Irish people, right? He got injured, and the vet said he could save him, and the Gardaí said no, they wanted him put down, and then they made a case about it and put 3 Irishmen into jail for 5 years just for the dog alone. Have you anything to say about that?
Well, I can't
I'm not putting you on the spot though, I mean,
case that I don't even
where
really
would you
know
stand
about.
on that? Like?
But again, animal cruelty, it's
Yeah.
an animal that's been used against their will.
Yeah.
In that case,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
That animal has no voice.
No,
you know,
and
so whatever.
He's doing what he's trained to do.
Yeah, he's doing what he's
Yeah.
trained to do, and he's doing what the human person has
he was
made
being
him
used
do.
as a weapon.
He's been used as a weapon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, that's animal cruelty again, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
I
at the
just
end
want,
of the
I just
day.
want your people here to see. I'm not against you.
Yeah.
I want your people here to see
Yeah.
that that's injustice too, to both animal and to the
It is
people.
injustice.
You know.
Definitely. Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before the next person comes on there,
Yeah.
I'm going to say a few words.
Yeah. Come on.
On this mic.
All right. Yeah.
So I wasn't meaning to talk today, but I do feel I have to say something to the people that are here. So there's a lot of us in this town who know the real truth. There's a lot of us in this town that knows the big agenda. So fear not for the few here today. Because eventually, first of all, this is such a long process. This is not a small war. This is a very big war about a corrupt government. And not alone the government, but then we have all the globalists outside of the World Economic Forum. So what I just want to say to people today that are here, keep spreading the truth, because the truth will always prevail, and we will eventually get there. It is a long road ahead of us. We've made many mistakes. This is something we've never had to do, to stand up and fight for everything we've always stood for. We will never allow them to take that away from us, but what I do want to make people aware of is it is a long process, and everybody that is here, it doesn't matter if there was only 10 of us, those 10 will spread it to another 10, those 10 will spread it on, and we will get there. And there's a lot of things we can look at the minute, things maybe we didn't do right, but never fear, we will get there. And again, it will take time, so I don't want anybody to lose heart by maybe a wet day, a Sunday, maybe things haven't gone wrong. All I ask people is to stay strong, stand together, and eventually we will bring our country back together. And I just had to say that before we go any further, so I'm just going to let the speeches go ahead. But please don't lose heart and don't lose faith, because we can do this. It may be a few today, there'll be thousands by the time we're finished, and everybody keep fighting for what is right.
Gee, we've a cordial. Is that an echo? Ah, yes. Better? Okay, so I have 3 points I want to make, and they're all very important. And point number 1 is about who we are and who we're not. Who we are is the land of the Céad Míle Fáilte. Who we are is when you send 50 Irish people out abroad to get an award for how great crack they are. Who we are is the people that brought in the people from Myanmar, the people from Syria, the people from Ukraine when they were all in trouble, and we looked after them. Who we are is when all people all over the world want to come and meet Ireland, and not for its weather but for its people. And who we're not is fascist and racist, and all these other ists that's been tagged along with this particular theme. We're not that. We never were that, and we never will be that. And as far as I'm concerned, anyone who wants to mess with this debate and not deal with the core issues of it by labelling people as fascist or racist or any other ist, well, they're either shills or idiots or a combination of both, shilliots. Which brings me on to my second point. The second point is who's to really blame for this? Because long before there was a war in Ukraine and long before refugees and asylum seekers were coming to Ireland, we had our own issues here in this town. The town's fallen down around us with pyrite. We can't get to see a dentist or a doctor. We can't get kids into the schools we want. We can't do an awful lot of things. And these issues are core issues behind why we can't take in X amount of people more, because we've already had enough. So our message, and it's quite simple, Simon, our message is Ballina's had enough, Mayo's had enough, Ireland has had enough, and there's no more room. Which brings me on to my third point. What can we do about it? Well, first thing is, we can't let people come in and divide our communities anymore. We can't let the pencil pushers in Dublin or the EU or anywhere else decide our destiny for our children or our grandchildren. That's no longer acceptable for the people of Ballina or for the people of Mayo or for the people of Ireland. And on June 7th, we got to make it the Independence Day. Everybody here has got to vote. Everybody here has got to tell people how to vote. And we can't have any of the uni party guys on that ticket anymore. They're not representing us. They're following the top-down politics, and we need to change that. This has to go from the bottom up. We need to be at the table. We need to be telling them, not them telling us. It's Michigaro Joe Beatty. Votil Ibrahim Goramila Moged Kalor.
Thank you, Joe.
Greetings, Ballina. How are you doing? It's good to see you turn out here today. I'd like to see a lot more, but we understand the pressures that the establishment put on people. A lot of people are frightened to come out. A lot of people are being coerced in this country. Corruption is rampant. A lot of people are making money out of people suffering. And on the 7th of June, you're going to get a chance to vote that establishment out. Don't miss that opportunity. Put people in that are going to care and are going to do something. People that have experience on fighting corruption. There's a lot of us around. There's a lot of us awake. So on the 7th of June, the only way the establishment goes is you have to go and hit the ballot box. And we'll do our best after that. Thank you.
If there's anybody out there in the crowd that would like to speak, then what welcome to.
Hello. I was going to say a few words, but I will. I suppose we're standing in the middle of the town here, the new Innovation Quarter. I know a lot of people have applied to work there and it's not happening. Nobody knows what's happening. And I suppose the last 4 years and ongoing, there's a lot of mysteries in the town. On Friday, I was going to the bank. I work up the road there, and I was going down to my bank, and Dr. Jerry Waters in town. And there's signage up, and you can feel the energy of the town. There's a lot of fear in this town. There's an immense amount of fear, and there's a lot of people who are probably thinking of coming here or driving by that won't, because essentially what is happening is this is a class war. So I suppose a professional person or a wealthy person doesn't want to be seen with other people, because the labelling is very, very strong, and the labelling was the anti-mask, anti-vax, fascist. All these labels are very, very strong, and the groupthink, it's basically psychological grade propaganda. It's people know there's bits of truth, but they don't want to speak up because they want their normal to continue, and they don't want society to collapse, which it will. It's inevitable at this stage. the health system is falling apart, people are getting very sick and died suddenly it's happening, you know, daily. There's a lot of young people that are dying, and it's the silence in the room. And the evidence is out there. The truth is out there, but people don't want to see it because it's frightening. And in the last week, I've been bombarded about a certain agenda that I choose pronouns after, like, you know, 46 years and 2 degrees. Now I have to address people as something that they're not, and the children, it's been pushed down our throat, and it's coming very, very quick. And my aim is just to protect the children. You know, in our own town, there's cats, there's foxes, and there's mushrooms in the secondary school. In the real world, you know, before people were sectioned in the past, but these children are teenagers that were, you know, homeschooled. There's no school, and their parents are working hard. But they have, and they're on, you can blame TikTok, but basically there's no guidance from society. So if this is normalised in school, where are we going? It's a very, very sick mental health crisis and a physical crisis. So I suppose for me, you know, if I lived, as I said before, if I lived in Australia or Canada, I would have mandated to take something that I didn't want to take because I knew from my biochemistry background that it was dangerous and it was experimental. I would have lost my job. So really, I have no fear. I had a dream a few years ago when the rollout happened that I would have guards on my doorstep. I had that a few times. And part of me thought, they have no right to tell me anything medical because they're not medical. But the fear was real, and it was incessant. And it was between the tracker app, you know, somebody who's a close contact, and all that was spying on each other. So that's where the labelling happened, and that's where communism or neo-Marxism is rising up. And people can't see it because it looks normal, and what's happening is even in the local elections, a lot of people will go for who gave money to the local club. And it sounds nice, and years ago I thought it was a great idea. I'm part of a society and a club, and there's money coming in. I know where the money's coming from. If you keep your nose clean, the money comes in. If you're independent, you're one of those crazy people. And I'm in those clubs, and the thing is, if I joined a club in society in Sligo, I wouldn't have been able to without the jab, but I snuck in Ballina. Not snuck in, I'm a good person, and that's the reality. And a lot of people will go with the norm because the money's coming in. And basically, Innovation Quarter, the plan would be a digital hub, money for top-end people, and the rest of people struggling are the fascist right wing. But the reality is, it's the rich as the poor. And it's basically landlord England all over again. And my mother told me about even the famine. It wasn't about, there was no potatoes. There was money in Kildare, there was money. It was the west of Ireland, it was the islands, and people were decimated. And that's what's going to happen, that's what's coming. Because most of the migrations come to Donegal and Mayo. You only have to look up, but there's parts of Dublin that won't take in. So it's not about colour or creed. I've lived with and worked with every nationality and religion. It's not about that. This is a class war. So if you've got the new electric car and you're a good person and you don't want to be seen with other people in the town, you say hello sometimes, but the reality is there's a looking down on others. And that Innovation Quarter could be lovely for concerts, you know, there could be a skate park, there could be great things for our children growing up in this town. But there's a dark, dark energy, and I'm not really into the ancestral lineage or heritage. I've never been a historian. But there's a dark energy in Ballina, and there's an energy of bigotry, of bringing down, no matter how good you do, you're not really from a certain sect of society. And that's it. And I'm sure there's people driving by and they're thinking, maybe not. Dr. Jerry Waters is a doctor, obviously he was a surgeon. And he was struck off by the medical council because he wouldn't give any of the COVID injections. So I followed him, I've met him a few times in the last few years, and there's 6 doctors that stood out of 5,000. The reality, they should have never been given to children at all, but there's money made out of it. And he walked down Pearse Street from here, a few of us walked down Pearse Street, and he met a few people on the street, just ordinary people that washed our tea like we all did, and he just spoke the truth, and you could feel people vibrating, petrified that he'd show them up. And he's speaking the truth, and we all need to speak the truth. And between the pandemic treaty and what's happened, there's a lot happening. But I do think, you know, as Maria said, we are going to win the war, and we don't need great speakers or revolutionaries. But we've been in a propaganda war. We're in the middle of it now, and the town can change, like in the next couple of weeks, instantly. There's a lot of things happening that's not making. I know about the foxes and the cats. But it's not funny. It's very serious. There's a mental health crisis. There's a physical crisis. Even in my own profession, therapists are not seeing people newly diagnosed with neurological illnesses if they're in a wheelchair. That's happening, and it's happening in our town as well. So the buck is passed. So these injured people are not been seen. And that breaks my heart. And at the same time, the money is pumped from NGOs to use pronouns. And I have nothing to lose. And we all have nothing to lose because we have to pull together, and it's all about the children. But if children don't know, are they a cat or a dog, or never mind the other sex? And the truth is, sex is binary. There's male and female. It's natural law. It's yin yang, and you can identify any way you want, and that's fine. But don't bring it into the schools. And my disgust is, where are the teachers? Where are the priests? And we know where our government are. They're in hands of the globalists. And basically, with the elections, it's either, if you're a globalist, you're not on our side. And if you're not a great public speaker, but you have a good heart, you are on our side. And basically, it's from fear to love. So it's either we vibrate with the fear and we move through it and see it for what it is, because it's evil. It's absolutely evil what's happening, and we move through it love. But what we're all feeling is the fear. Will I go? Will I not? What will we say? Who's going to be the best? Who's going to save us? And there's no cavalry coming. Nobody's coming to save us. But in our hearts, we have it, and our children deserve it. And basically, it's choose love over fear. And when I saw Dr. Jerry Waters, he's from Dublin. He's from Drimna in Dublin. And his dad was, I think, a postman. He went on to educate himself in the 70s in Galway. That's the family I came from. My dad worked in a train station, and we all went to college, and we all deserve to be prosperous and have a good life, and our children to be safe. I don't want to think when I'm working, are my teenage children going to get attacked uptown? I pack in the job, and I don't want to do that either. And it's back to the slogan, the Agenda 2030, it's you'll own nothing and be happy. No, we won't. And we will own things, and we'll own it all. It will be ours. We will inherit the earth. And the problem in this town is there's a lot of people quietly speaking, and that's fine. They want to protect their jobs, but the reality is they're all feeling it. Apart from a few who are led on by NGOs, it's money coming in and you fly a certain flag, the money is flying, like it did with COVID. And a lot of people during the lockdowns made money. They made 10,000 a week, so of course they kept quiet. I didn't. I worked from June 2020. But if you got money, you kept quiet, and that's still what's happening. The money's flooding in, and it's bribery, or it's buttering up. But if it's in the light, there's no money for that. So we have to build that. And whether it's crowdfunding or whatever, we have to co-create our reality rather than saying that's the way society has gone. It's gone by design, and it's all in the last 7 years, mainly from the likes of Hollywood and Kardashians and TikTok and smartphones. It's come into the teenagers because the parents are all working. The parents are, in my day, my mother was around, there's a lot of mothers around, there's somebody keeping an eye on you when you went over town. But now the parents are, they're busy. And in between, all the different agendas coming very, very fast and quick. And the children are being poisoned. And that's basically it. And now I'll let you on to Gary. But basically choose love over fear.
Just a little bit of information for those who want to know about it. This time last year, there was a climate conference in Ballina. It was hosted by Mary Robinson. And it's on again the week of the election from 5th to the 7th. But I went to it last year because I wanted to know what the plans were. And Eamon Ryan did a keynote speech there. And in his keynote speech, he said that Ireland were going to sign up at COP28 to the UN Climate Accord. And what that really meant when asked questions about it is that a lot of the refugees that are coming in that are seeking asylum will not have to seek asylum, that they'll be able to come into Ireland because of a climate crisis. So I would encourage as many locals as are available next week, if you want to go and see what the plans are, go to the climate conference, because they'll tell you straight to your face. Thanks.
I get killed by the woman when she catches me on camera, but no one tell her, even though she'll see it on Facebook later on. Look, I'm standing here for the simple reason my daughter's Christian today, and I could be here for 5 minutes and I'm crushing off after this don't squeal until later on the video goes up. But anyway, as Gary said, the climate thing has been happening since last year, so it has, and it's only just started. If you vote these in again, we're going to have the same process over and over continuously, which we have had for the last 20 years or so. I'm not looking at you, I'm a bit crowd shy, but anyway, someone needs to start speaking out, and a new face needs to approach every time. Like, no one wants to worry about the kids. I'm sure some of you have seen that video that went up last night. I can't remember, I think it was shared on one of the pages. And there was the girl, how her sister was attacked in 2003, and now there's an immigrant centre just below her. Like, none of us want that for any of our kids, or anyone's kids for that matter. And look, I can just say thank you all for coming out, for the ones that came out. You know, you're supporting your town, and that's what it's about. It's not about racism, it's about safety, and that's it. Number one is safety. If they were vetted, if these people were vetted, truth be told, there's a lot of races in Ballina. We know from all cultures and all walks of life. They're vetted, they're known. We know who they are. We walk into their shops, we get services off them, we get food made by these people. And some of them have donated to the lads at the Twin Trees. And fair play to you, and thanks for that. But at the end of the day, it's safety. Number one is safety. If they're guard vetted, we know who they are. The guards know who they are. They have no less trouble on the guards. And the guards don't want this. No one wants this. You know, it's just safety is number one. It's nothing got to do with the colour of their skin, where they're from, who they are, what they are. It's nothing to do with that whatsoever. Like, we're all born and bred Irish people here. We have other cultures that come in and have granted citizenship through showing their faith and who they are. Like, it really is a number one priority. Like, we stand united with every part of this country, no matter where you are, who you are. We're all in the one thing. Maybe Clonmel, maybe Coolock, maybe Sligo. I've heard there's a few down there now. We're all united. We're all one in this. This isn't separate groups. We're one. Ballina says no, and that's it. Clonmel says no, and etc. We all say no, and the government needs to put this out. And the only way you're going to start putting the government out is voting the independent. Give them a chance. They can't make any worse than what they've done for the last 20 years, lad. That's it. If they make a mistake, in 5 years' time, we can say they made a mistake. For after 5 years, they've made it constantly, years. 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it is. I was never one for speaking, but I'm here now. I'd like to thank the ones who spoke and the ones who helped me put out the posters, flyers and plumpers, Declan for the speaker and the mic, and the boys who are setting up the new base camp. They're not finished yet with their chicken wire and their pallets, and Robert for coming out, taking the video here, and yourselves a bull of bus, as we say in Irish. Come on now, bull of bus. Everyone deserves a round of applause. And there's one thing I will say. There's a lot of, how would you put it? There was a lot of wrong things put on the boys that was outside the hotel. There was a lot of infiltration, as you call it. And I come up, put my hand up and say, I've met some amazing people standing down there. So I've got in contact with people that I haven't spoken to in years, which I'm grateful for. I met a very good lad recently. I sound like I'm going to cry, but he's a nice lad. He's not here today, so he's not. I'm sure his wife is recording me and saying where she is. But he gave me a few tips and he learned me a few tricks. And hopefully, when he's back, and we can get this over and done with. We stand together, united as one, because that's what it is. We're one at the end of the day. Vote number one, whoever you prefer. 1, 2, 3. And when you're voting, please bring a buyer OG. And when you're doing the one, I don't know how would you call it, a capital one or whatever, it's one of them fancy ones, you know. Don't do a straight line, you just and don't go. Well, look, fill the boxes and say. If you don't want to write it, you can write it as a ONE 1 or any of the rest of the boxes, whatever you do. I know you probably want to write something in the boxes about. Only number, is it? Alright, sorry. Excuse my, you know. But, yeah. Just leave the rest of the boxes empty. Don't write into any of the boxes or be classed as a non-valid vote. And it will not count. Just who you prefer, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then we'll leave it at that. But we'll wrap it up for now, I think, because I don't think anyone's still here in the rain. And I'd like to is there anyone in the crowd that'd like to say a few words? I see you approaching me. All beans. It's a $5 now ahead.
I really didn't plan on saying anything, but I suppose I didn't have a clue what was going on here until the word starts spreading, and it's the more you know, the more relentless it is. You know, as a parent, it's to be blissfully unaware is amazing. The more you know, the more fear there is. But the more people know, the more people can talk. And the less fear there will be ultimately, that the more people that you have standing beside you. And it's horrible to think. It's beyond the realms of imagination to think that there is people solely out to make your lives miserable, full of fear. But they are there, and some of them walk amongst us. And that's what it is. Nobody wants to face this head on. But the more we bury our head in the sand, the harder it's going to be. We need to pull together, we need to stand together, we need to support each other, we need to talk and to be there on the dark days, because there is dark days coming. There is no denying that, there's no getting away from that. As a parent, it makes me sick to my stomach to think the future that my kids might face if we don't do what we need to do. But I suppose the rally in Dublin on the 6th of May, coming down here to the first protest, made me feel strong to be supported and to stand beside people who feel exactly as I do, who are fearful but strong and ultimately want change. So the more days there are like that people stand together and show each other that you are not alone. Like the energy in Dublin on the 6th of May was incredible. People are so fed up. They're so, you know, and they're made look like hooligans. Like you must wear a tinfoil hat. You must be a racist. You must be a RA fan. I don't know what they want to make you, to paint you out to be. It's not. This is our home. This is our culture. This is our heritage, and it's beautiful. And like Gary said, people come from all over the world to be amongst Irish people, but yet they want. The globalists don't want that. They don't want individuality. They want to ultimately have power over us all. And if someone had said that to me a year ago, I remember my brother was talking about this a year or two ago, and I thought he was fucking batshit crazy. I thought the man needed to be signed in. But in actual fact, it was me being ignorant, because what he would say, I could find information to back that up with one tap on my phone. It's there if you look. It's there on front of you if you care to look and you're brave enough to look. But like Mom said, you know, brighter days are coming. It's going to be dark for a long time. But ultimately, love will win. Fear will conquer nothing. We need to stand together and know that, and spread positivity, that we will all get where we need to be. Our children will have a bright future, our grandchildren an even brighter future, but we need to weather the storm and stand together. And I'm so proud to be from Ballina. Ballina is the pride here, and the courage and the strength, and for mostly women, might I say, the strength from the women from this town is incredible, and I'm so proud to say I know them and I walk beside them. So I just hope, I know a wet day is enough to say, no, I'm not going to stand in the rain. I don't care enough. It's not a problem of mine yet, but it will be a problem, and I hope, I know it won't be too late. It's just, these things take time, but keep the faith, I suppose, and keep informing yourselves, and everything that you open seems to instill more fear, but the more you know, the more you can share, and just look out and reach out on the groups, and don't let this divide people. This is not about us and our egos and, well, they're doing this and I'm doing this, and I don't really think, ultimately everybody has the same goal. Stop this from happening, so we need to stand together.
So again, I wasn't going to talk. I got an email from the school on Thursday, I think it was, the Key School where my son goes. He's just turned 10, and it was about the new curriculum that hasn't been changed in 25 years. So I scrolled through it briefly, and I seen RSE, education. So I went through it. It was all about sexuality. I'm sorry, but my child will not be learning about masturbation. My child will not be learning about anal sex. My child will not be learning about fisting. They are innocent children, and I will probably get upset over this.
Alright, Rebecca.
It is a form of paedophilia. The children are under attack and people don't see it. I will, with Cora's help, be setting up a Facebook page for all the women, the parents of the children. We'll be sending up a petition for every school, for every parent to sign. And I'm asking everybody, because I know this will go viral, we need to protect our children, and we can tell our children about sex when we feel they are ready and their brains can understand, and subtly how we tell them. I mean, when you go on to the Natural Women's Council and you go on to the videos that they're shown, and you can see what is... You can get any book in the library from 12 upwards. That's not say 12 will take, it could be younger. And the detail that's in them books for children to be trying to understand and think that that's what sex is about. I mean, maybe I'm naive to fisting, but I'm sorry, but if someone came around me, and I'm going to say it how it is, it's not normal. So why put that on our children? Our innocent children who go out and play in the muck, wheel their cars up and down, push their prams and enjoy their childhood like we did. I used to be out with a stick pretend I was on Midwest Radio, singing till my heart was content and I had the care in the world. And now I am questioning everything that comes in from the school, everything I see. And when I rang, I was told, we'll check the policy about taking your child out of that class. There's no policy, because that is my child, and nobody will go ahead and teach my child without my permission. And I just urge you all, please, and I know you will, but we need change. This government is not for the people. They are disgusting, vile. They're not even human beings. And we need to vote independent, and that is it. And we will get our country back. We'll be under no illusion, because we are strong people. And never mess with the Irish women, let me tell you, because we will not stop. Okay? That's all. Thank you.
Well done.
Here, let's say a few words.
I won't give you only a minute or two, right? My name is Pat Cannon, I'm from Castlebar. I have one child myself, he's 33 years of age now. He is a partner and two children and another one on the way. His partner is the girl that was abused by the fella that was shot. Her father shot him dead about this time last year, right? And that man is Kevin McHale. You'll get it on Facebook at Justice for Kevin McHale. It's on a few of the other social media sites as well. And that man needs help, because the Gardaí are going full out for murder, and he will get convicted and he will die in jail for shooting the paedophile that abused his daughter. The man was found not guilty in the Castlebar court, and the very next day there was another woman, she's 45, 46 now, and she had the same paedophile up in court for abusing her, and he also abused her sister. And since he was shot, about a dozen women have gone in and said that they were abused by him too when they were children, and he was let off in Castlebar court because there was a woman who was a social worker who worked for Tulsa in the past and worked for the Western Health Board in the past, and she was on the jury, and she persuaded the rest of the jury that she had qualifications. She's a psychologist and she had qualifications, and the Shannon, the girl that was abused, wasn't upset enough when she was given her evidence to have been abused when she was a child, right? And that paedophile got off, and I'm not surprised, because a lot of our politicians are paedophiles, and a lot of the judiciary that they appoint are paedophiles, and a lot of the court service staff are paedophiles, and even some of the Gardaí are paedophiles. And I'd say they're in every rank of society and in every organisation, and our government are supporting them. There's a judge out there that has let every paedophile that came in front of him off, and dozens of them have come off. There was another judge he's retired now. Justice Nolan is in there, right? There was another judge from County Cork, and when his family half-reared in their teens, he left his wife and he went and kept up with another judge, a man, right? And he let off paedophiles, saying that they left it too long, the victims left it too long to bring it to court, right? And one of the paedophiles that he gave him a sentence for abusing a young lad was the same man who abused 300 children. He was a teacher and he abused 300 children, and one of the students took it to the Supreme Court 3 times, all the way up through the court system 3 times, and then she went to Europe, and Europe ruled that she was right and that he should get jail. But Judge I can't think of his name now, I'll think of it in a minute, right? O'Sullivan only jailed him for a year, allowed for 2 months that he had already done on remand, which is easier, right? And he'd be out on good behaviour on 3/4 of the year, which meant he only done 7 months in jail, right? After abusing 300 children, and 3 times he went to the Supreme Court with a different person, right? A different victim, and he still got away, practically got away with it. 7 months he done in jail. Our judiciary are full of paedophiles, right? Now I'm not saying them all, but I'm saying it's top heavy with paedophiles.
Thanks for saying a few words. Back to the main reason why we're all here is the IPAS Centre, and I don't know if any of you said this, but there has been potential areas that have facilities that have been bought up. We're not at 100%, but as far as I know, it's 90% sure that the Comet school back on the Comet Hill Road has been bought, supposedly by one of the owners that owned the Twin Trees. Again, not 100% sure, but again, that's potentially a big area for, again, another 100, 200 non-fetish migrants that we brought in. A pub was known as Mary Murphy's, was meant to have been bought as well, and supposedly is another potential area. These are just 2 potential areas that we know of. Just up at the corner here, another place is Fahey's Corner is known as, was also bought, which again is a potential spot. Any spot they're going to get, they're going to shove them in. Any spot, anywhere, any time they can. That's what they'll do. The next thing that's going to start happening is, because they're getting money out of it, they're going to start buying people's homes. And the Irish don't have the money to keep these homes going, because the EU is giving the Irish government more money for housing immigrants than they are for housing their own people. We were born here. We grew up our lives here. Some of us left, but when we left, we came back. The ones who left Ireland have always come back home, because home is home, and that's it, no matter where you go in life. As I said, we lived here and we die here, and that's the way it is. But a lot of people really do forget their history. And there's one man I've always read up about, because he was a local man, Michael Gaughan, his name was. He died on hunger strike. He died for this town. He died for his country. And now, look at it. It's been thrown into his face. Bobby Sands, Michael Collins, and etc. They died for our freedom. And like the ones that stand there now and say that, oh, this is the same thing, how these immigrants are coming in, it's the same as the Irish left years ago. It's different. It is completely, utterly different. You have forgotten your history. The reason why the Irish people left here was because of the famine, starvation, the British Empire and so on. But look, that's another debate. We're here for the simple fact of immigration. We don't want it in Ballina, and it's as simple as that. We don't want it anywhere. Vet them, and by all means, yes, let them in, but give them a 6-month term of probation to know how safe they are around the area. That's it. Again, as you said, we don't have the services. We don't have the Gardaí, we don't have the fire brigades, the ambulance services, doctors, etc. You know, and our own people haven't got homes. I know people there that have houses, and their daughters and their sons are living with them because they can't afford the rent, because the rent is too high on things.
There's a lot of sacrifice.
It's greed. That's the only way to put it. It's greed. It's money grabbing. That's all it is. And the change is independent, as I say. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. We'll wrap it up at that. And
No, I don't want to say about the migrants.
No, I can't let it go about the migrants. There's a few things to be said. And as I said, we can all spread the word. At the end of the day, there's absolutely not one person in this town anywhere that could think this is normal. everything that's happening in our country. How could anybody think it's normal? We've had people come into our country all the years from every nationality, from every country in the world. This is a plantation. Like, people can spin it any way they want. There is people coming here left, right and centre. Number one, why is it hidden? Number two, why we're not told about it. Number three, I mean, again, anybody could think this is normal, that our own people, I mean, the greed here, the selfishness, all part of that big agenda. The people making from it. By the way, we are not finished with those people who are financially gaining. And as I always said, I will go a long way yet to showing up these people. Might not got there yet, but I can guarantee you 100% with the help of this town and everyone else, we will show those people up for what they are. This is all about money. It's all about greed. It's all about power. When you see your own people not mattering, that they don't matter at all. Everybody else matters. Surely there's not a person. But then we have a lot of the ones that, well, I'm okay. I'm not going to use the words, but I'm okay, so I'm not bothered about you. Well, there is people in this country still, Irish people with good hearts, who do care about other people, who do care about everybody in the country. And again, the migrants. We've always had people come into our country. Right now we have all our young people leaving this country. They're leaving it for jobs because they've nothing in their own country, going back to what was it, the late 70s, I'm not sure, early 80s, when people left the country. Our people shouldn't be leaving our country in the first place. For what? For others to come in and listen, by no means everything here is an agenda. We know our country is going to be taken over. Anybody with half a brain would know the dynamics of what's going to come in our country from too many people in it. We can't keep ourselves. We have I stood up front for TD and asked him about different crises in our country. When a TD in our own town says we have no crisis, there is nothing wrong in our country. What does that tell you about our politicians, our councillors and our TDs and everybody else outside of that? So I will say, at the end of the day, we all know what's happening. There is people awakening every day to the real facts. And what I say to those people is keep spreading it. And eventually, like I said, we will get there. Look at the crowd now, because it's only a small crowd, but this crowd will grow larger. We're not under no illusions. We know it's going to take time. Rome wasn't built in a day. We have a long war ahead of us, but we're strong Irish people and we will get there.
Does anybody else want to go up there now before we call it a day? I'd just like to thank all on behalf of the done the speeches here today. Yes, it is a total disgrace what's happening in our country, and people want to start waking up very fast, because if these people get into our town, as I said, we've schools where they're planting at, we've hotels which we cannot get. As I said, my brother was sent up the country there to stay, where he was had to stay in a tent for a couple of weeks up along the river. But Mr. Bark Duffy, when I asked him that question down at the Twin Trees there a couple of weeks ago, he was refused to answer it. So I'll put it to Mr. Mark Duffy, if he was ever here again. Why did he have to do and put people up the country to stay in lodgings up there when there's plenty of room in our own town? If there was room in our own town, they'd get it. But they're giving it out to every other nationality that's coming into town. Ukrainians, any other nationality that's coming into our town. They're giving them first preferences to everything. Double our door, like you said, you did, Maria, down the town. The migrants were getting more money to move into a house than the Irish person was. Now, as Maria said that day, what does that go to show you? It's fucking diabolical what's happening in this country at the moment. Well, excuse the language, but it is. It's totally diabolical. You know, they want to start looking at the bigger picture. Like, there's people out there suffering on the streets of our country day in and day out. Why can't they put them into these places that they're building for all of these people? Why don't they give them people a space to stay? But no, they give it out to every other nationality that's coming into our country. As Jamie said there a while ago, if they're fed and put them on trial, and actually fucking electric put them on electric tags that you'll know every bit of their movement. And then we've no space for them, plain and simple. Keep away from our country. We're tired and sick of looking at you coming around town. You don't see an Irish person. But I'm sitting outside Mocha being there for the past 3-4 years, and you see more migrants passing you than you see an Irish person walking past you. And more each day are coming in. So please, people, wake up to yourselves, because otherwise this country is going to be crippled and very fast. Thank you.
If I put down a book and I'll sing a few songs.
Rebecca, sorry, did you speak to Robert about
No,
Right.
So let's speak to Carol. Right, guys, but it's just we were thinking that we wanted to go around to some different towns, get small videos of how they were feeling. But it seems to have come out that I don't think it's really strong. So Kelly, I don't think it's going to be at all. I don't think and the bar is going to John Maloney probably will. He'll be the only one that will. But we have to go around properly and really ask them. Only they don't want to save their business before it. What is their business in trouble? And I came to swear at the same time. You know, we're dealing with that. We'll just get a voiceover. So you wouldn't have to see who they were. So we're just talking. I don't think it is really.
Yeah, but it's no problem because it is very quick, but my English is not very well. I don't understand everything.
Yeah. So all of us would need to be there to be asking them questions and going forward to them
I'd just like to say, is there any other meetings going to be happening in the upcoming future? Because people probably didn't want to come out today because of the bad weather. I see. Right, well, people, please listen up for 1 or 2 minutes. If anybody wants to message Maria Graham and let her know if there's other meetings going to be held in the town shortly, because people need to know, like, we had a disappointing day today. Fair dues to the people that did come out, and yeah, there was a good turnout, but we're going to need to stand up in numbers and bigger numbers. You know, it's no use 100 people showing up today and 50 turning up next week. If there's going to be something on next week, would you please let Maria Graham know, and then we can follow from there. Thank you. And also, if anybody could get a chance, even an hour out of your day, could you please go to the Twin Trees? These lads put an awful lot of work into it. I'd like to thank Kyle Maloney there for going on his trailer there the other day and bring him any amount of pallets. He went down there with food and fed all of us last night, so I thank him for that as well. And look, we need to support outside the Twin Trees as well, because otherwise, if people don't see us there at Twin Trees, they don't think there's anything going to happen. So we need a lot of people in numbers down there. And the more they see outside Twin Trees, look, we went down to the Stone. Well, I didn't go down there last week. A couple of the women went down, and there was a letdown because there was a wedding on in Twin Trees. So they had to turn away there because they weren't going to ruin that girl's day, or the couple's day. So look, if people wants to be there at the Twin Trees, even if they spent an hour or 2 out of their day, just to show their faces, come, and if they've done it every day, it'd be better, because it's just the same lads down there every night, and them lads are now going into their 40th day at the moment. So I'd appreciate if a few people come down in the evening time just to show their support outside the Twin Trees. Thank you.
Thanks.
problem because this election is changing the poll.
Yeah, and I leave it. Yeah,